is a video about industry terms.
Yeah.
We're going to teach you what certain words mean in the industry. And this episode is going to be about gigs. So gig terms. Fire away.
A promoter is the person who set up the gig. They are the promoter of the gig generally. Sometimes promoters don't actually do the job of promoting the gig and let the bands do it, but the promoter is the person who is running the gig. They will be the person setting up the gig beforehand, and they'll be the person at the gig that's sorting all the stuff out. Go to them if you have any problems. The engineer is the person working the sound desk, working the faders and doing all of the volumes. They are the person that runs the sound check, we'll get to that, and they are the person that is gonna make you sound good or bad. Be nice to them. Let's talk about equipment. We've had a few questions about it recently, about what equipment you need for a gig. Generally at a gig, what will be there equipment-wise will be drum shells, which is just the actual drums themselves. There won't be any stands and there won't be any cymbals, and a bass amp, normally. Vocal mics and cables and mics for miking up, amps, that kind of stuff. Okay. Sometimes that entire thing that's provided will be known as the backline. That means that the drummer will be asked to bring his breakables, her breakables, their breakables, and that includes cymbals, stands, snare, sticks, stool, ulsters. So if you get asked to bring breakables, that's what that means.
Oh!
Sometimes when you have a acoustic guitar or keyboard, you may be asked to plug into the DI box. DI stands for direct injection, and it essentially means it's the bypass for an amp, if that makes any sense. So an electric guitar, you plug into an amp, that gets mic'd up, the mic then goes to the mixing desk, which comes through the big speakers. If you're using an acoustic guitar or keyboard, you tend to not go into an amp. So what you use is a direct injection box, which you plug your acoustic guitar or keyboard into that, then that goes to the mixing desk, which goes to the big speakers. That's what a DI box is. So if you ever get asked to plug into the DI box, it's a little box about that big, probably about the same size as this, and it'll probably have an input very similar to that. That's what a DI box is. Sometimes you might hear someone say front of house. Front of house is the speaker setup, basically, that the audience will be listening to. Sometimes it will be referred to as the front of house desk, which is the mixing desk used to do the front of house. Generally that's kind of festivals, because they'll have a different mixing desk for the front of house and the monitors. That leads us on to the monitors. Monitors are the speakers that are on the stage that you will be listening to. On a mixing desk, the engineer will have two different volume controls, one for the monitors, one for the front of house. So if you specifically want an instrument louder in your mix, you can have that. So you could, in theory, if the bass amp is already really loud, you could say, can you completely take the bass out of the monitors? That's not recommended, but you could in theory do that and it won't affect the front of house sound. When organising the gig with a promoter, you may be told the loading time. A loading time is basically the time that you have to be there with your equipment. The slots that you have, so say there's 4 bands on, then there is 4 slots. Each band plays a slot. They are referred to with certain terms. The first term would be headliner. You've probably already heard this. It's the band that goes on last. It's the big band. It's the longer set. It's the
main attraction.
Yeah, the reason why everyone's come generally. Then there is support. Support tends to just be any band that's not the headliner, but there's variations of the support. Like the main support. The main support is the band that goes on before the headliner. So you've got the supports, the main support, then the headline. You could also hear the word opener used. They are the band that's opening the night. So they're the first band on. So it goes opener, supports, main support, headliner.
However, there may not be 4 bands on.
Yeah, so you may have multiple supports. So you might have opener, support. This is a festival, clearly. Main support, headliner. You could have just opener, main support, headliner. You could just have main support and headliner. You can call whatever that band is whatever you want. It's the opener, support and main support. Doesn't matter, that's just what all the terms mean. If the gig that you're playing is really well organised, you might, on your information sheet that you get through, it may say what the changeover times are. You can work it out yourself anyway, but a changeover time is the time that it takes from your set finishing to the time that the next set is due to start. So that is the amount of time that you have to get off the stage and the next band has to get on the stage. Generally a good changeover time would be 15 to 20 minutes. Some people use half an hour, which is a little bit too long. Some people use 10 minutes, which is quite a rush because that gives you 5 minutes per band to get on and off. which is a bit... It's asking a lot. Maybe on the information sheet that you've got from the promoter, they have said something about there's a merch table, or you can sell your merch here, or merch. Merch is merchandise. Merchandise is stuff that you're selling. So CDs, t-shirts, wristbands, stickers, badges, anything with your logo on it. Did you like that? When talking about whether or not you're going to make any money, there's a chance that the promoter may say, we're doing a ticket deal. A ticket deal is basically, you will get paid for the tickets that you sell. So it will be a certain amount of money per ticket sold. So if the tickets are £5, you might get £1 per ticket. If you sell 2 tickets, you get £2. Good job. If you happen to be paid a lump sum up front just for playing, which is quite rare, cover bands get it and bigger bands get it. Generally, if you're just trying to start out in your local music scene, you won't get an upfront fee just because they don't know that you're going to pull people. If you don't pull people, you're not worth the money. That's not me being mean, it's just a fact of life. Why would they give you £200 to play to an empty room? If you happen to have one of these upfront fees, generally you won't be part of a ticket deal. Sometimes you might not be part of a ticket deal and not get an upfront fee, in which case you're playing for free, which if you're fine with doing, you're fine with doing. A bigger gig, because it tends to be bigger gigs, you could be offered a certain amount of people on guest list. That's quite hard to say. Guest list. Guest list is not how you're supposed to say it though, is it? You're missing out both T's. But guest list. The guest list is a list of people that get in for free, basically. They are people, potentially family members or press or... people
of important stature within your local scene.
Yeah, just people that you've invited to come see your band for free. A lot of promoters might not be okay with having a guest list. Some will offer it and say you can have 10 people on guest list. Generally, if you're at the headliner, you're more likely to get it. If you're doing your own gig with tickets, obviously you can just set up your own guest list. And generally, the person working outside on the door, so if you're working on the door, that means the person doing the tickets, that person will have the guest list, and someone will say, I'm on the guest list, and they're like, what's your name? And they'll say their name, and then they'll go, yes, you are, and then they'll take them off, and then they go inside, and everything's fine, they don't have to pay. Congratulations, you are now way more likely to look good when you turn up at the gig and know what everybody's talking about, rather than going, what's that mean? Every 5 minutes. You're welcome. We're good at this, aren't we? Yes, we are. Last week, we put out a vote for the songs that we're going to be writing next week. I'll link to the video up there. We've got a vote on it. So in the thing where we're linking, click on that, on the video that I'm linking to. There is a vote for what song. It's electronic, ambient, or hot jazz. So go vote. The vote is very, very close. We've had quite a lot of people vote. And it's like 48%, 52%. It's like so close. So go vote if you want to see us write a specific type of song.
Good night and God bless. Unless you're atheist.
In which case...
science bless.
Biology... no. There needs to be an organism that we get blessed by.
It doesn't. A caterpillar.
Caterpillar bless. Good night and caterpillar bless.